Yo, what's going on, Geek Kona? This is your boy Urs Mac, the mad scientist, and this is Pro Wrestling Talk Live, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for another Wednesday night. You already know what's happening. Shout out to the infamous Alvin Staley in his absence. He's taking care of the family. His family is sick, and he's on daddy and husband duties. You understand? He's working diligently out here, man. I think there's something floating around, and you got to be careful out there. So, let's get to it, man. We got Pro Wrestling Talk Live. First off, I just want to say, shout out to the now 378 subscribers for the Orange Phoenix channel, man. I greatly appreciate it, man. We appreciate the love, man. Clearly y'all enjoy the comic book content that we put out during the week, man. Superman 19 did some pretty decent numbers, and it's still increasing. And I put out Aliens versus Avengers issue number 2, so go ahead and check that out. So if you haven't checked out those last 2 videos I mentioned, go ahead and check those out, man. They're very entertaining. Go ahead and get your learn on, get your read on. And I know this week we do have some more content that's dropping, comic book content for Comic Book Declassified. So be on the lookout for that as well. So, I say that this wrestling week was a little, I wouldn't say slow, but I would say, a little stagnant. You know what I mean? A little, not overly exciting, man. But you want to check out the other news in the ticker below, man, especially that last piece right there that just came through, like it literally just came through like 3 minutes before this show started. So that clearly it just got announced. So pro wrestling fans, go ahead and check out AEW Dynamite tonight, because we're going to definitely jump into the subject matter of Jon Moxley speaking on 2025 direction of AEW. And also we're going to be talking about Survivor Series and who's going to be the 5th man on each team. And it's a little shaky. I'm not even going to hold you. It feels a bit weird with that 5th pick, because we'll see what happens with that. Maybe it's a swerve. We will see. But we definitely going to jump into it right now. And we're going to be talking about Jon Moxley's statement. He had some things to say about the 2025 direction of AEW, and we're gonna jump right into it. Now, he says it's going to be whatever we make it, whatever we stand up and take ownership of this opportunity. It can be whatever the F we want it to be. There are no rules. Any rules we have interviews on a set that looks like this. We have to have this at this time. We have to put this up. Any rules we have are just things we put on ourselves. It's pro wrestling. It always evolving. You have to stay evolving with it, or you get left behind, which is true facts. This is true facts. Now, you're always learning and always growing. The attitude that we're building around, the attitude that you're feeling, and the energy that you're feeling in the locker room, backstage, and in the arenas, everything surrounding AEW is different kind of attitude. Now, to take it a step further, he says there will be a lot of stuff that won't be part of this AEW. For example, he says earlier this year, I was having a conversation, I was around a conversation earlier this year, and I heard a backstage type person talking about interviews or pre-tapes or something. It was a situation where talents were not put in a position to succeed due to lack of preparation, framework, directions, things like that. This individual said, well, it's bottom of the card. It doesn't matter. Can you imagine saying that? You effing fired. Go work at Sunglass Hut. You should be effing pistol whipped for saying that. For one, everybody that is on top of the card was at one time on the bottom of the card. That's how it works. You climb the ladder. You see this frustration or confusion from some of these talents because there are no effing ladder. They don't know what to do. They are just wandering in the desert. We're going to grab them and we're going to walk them. Now, I will say that one of the biggest critiques we have with AEW is its use of younger talent. And with Daniel Garcia staying in AEW, this part is probably part of the new initiative that's that's transpiring in 2025. And to be honest with you, WWE has a perfect ecosystem when it comes to young talent. You know, you talk about NXT and how they groom these performers, and they have the performance center, the literal performance center where you can go work out, do drills, get better at your craft, do all these things. It's a literal training facility. And the most recent deal that was done with like Seth Rollins Wrestling School, the Nightmare Factory, and so on and so forth, and you know, using those schools. I mean, you're just creating a perpetual hub of younger talent coming in, because you know you need some more people at the top. You know, at one point Roman Reigns is going to retire. At some point Cody Rhodes is going to retire. You're going to need more talent. Randy Orton will retire. That's all you need. So AEW doesn't have that ecosystem. And I mean, you know, granted, it's only 5 years old, but Tony Khan has the ends. He has the money to do this. He actually has a legit third brand. He got Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor could be that developmental area. But I said this before. I said that they need a performance center, like something to practice the drills, practice the promos, entrances, all those things, because the amount of young talent, the amount of core talent that these guys have at AEW is unprecedented. I mean, I feel like they have the best roster of talent, and they got to, like, you know, make diamonds out of those. I mean, you know, Orange Cassidy's pretty much self-made. MJF, self-made. Daniel Garcia, he's there. You know what I mean? And there's other young talent that is out there. Darby Allin, that is another one. I mean, Darby Allin's going to be a lifer. I already can tell with that. Unless something goes left, that's the only way I feel like it's going. Like Ricky Starks. Like Ricky Starks has yet to be on TV, and I would love to see him on TV again. He's 100%, and all those things in between, and he's doing wrestling dates. So we don't know what exactly is going on. You know, you have Miro requesting a release, but that was like a couple of months ago. There was no other reports on that. You got to make it appealing to young talent. That, you know, if their contract's up and they're looking over here at NXT and looking at the Performance Center and all this other stuff, you know, as a young talent, what are you going to do? Like, I'm going to jump over here to get better, and I'm going to be on TV more. Yeah, it's a little bit more theatrical in ways, but, you know, better in my craft. WWE has their own style, you know. AEW has their own style, and you can, again, Performance Center. You have a wrestling school. You got Malachi Black. Malachi Black has his own wrestling school, man. It's wild. I feel like Jon Moxley's statement is warranted. I feel like there's something to be said, because I mean, even he sees it and it frustrates him, but he wants the company to flourish. It's not like he's being misused or they're trying to push characters on him or whatever the case may be. There's always frustrations, but these, like, I wouldn't say the bad kind of frustrations. I would say these are good kind of frustrations, because when you look at those kind of frustrations, it's something you can fix easily. AEW is at a point where the honeymoon phase is over, and that is what it is. I mean, the reason that it rose to popularity as quickly as it did is because of, you know, to be totally transparent, Vince McMahon was just, you know, doing terrible storylines on WWE. You know, I mean, people were just tired, you know, of seeing that. So when AEW showed up and it was just a shot in the arm and lightning in the bottle, and then, you know, once Vince McMahon is gone and you got Triple H, it's a different ball game now. WWE has evolved into something better, and AEW has to adjust with those times. And Moxley even said it, like, listen, if you don't evolve with it, you're going to be left behind. That's just how it transpires. That's just how it goes. I did hear about a new production style in 2025, and I think they're just going with the motions, going to finish out the year with what they have. And then 2025, they're going to do like this new type of production, how they're going to shoot camera angles and stuff like that, make it look a little bit more sports centric, like keep it 1,000. I think they need to stick with it, though. because there was some things that I felt like that was really, really cool, right? Like Renee, like there was a camera angle, like her beside the ramp, right? And it felt like he was watching a UFC fight, because while she was talking, the entrance music hit, right? But the camera angle didn't go away. It just showed them coming down, talking to Renee for a minute before they get into the ring. Like that felt good. You know what I mean? That felt like I was watching like a UFC event. The production of it. So they have done some things that was really good. I mean, they're still, number 2 in the wrestling field, and this within 5 years, man. That's crazy. They did Wembley Stadium twice, 2 times in a row. And there's success there. And to think that AEW is failing, AEW is not failing. It just, there are cracks in the wall that can be mended. Like, it's not like one of those situations where, we're gonna pull the plug and cancel all of this. You got the Hurt Syndicate, you got Will Ospreay, you got Kyle Fletcher, you got, you know what I'm saying? You got the Death Riders. We'll see what happens. And Jon Moxley is at the helm. Clearly, I think that Jon Moxley is going to be Orange Cassidy, and he's just going to hold the belt just a little bit longer. He's probably going to hold the belt until All Out. That's my thought. I think he's going to hold the belt till All Out. So, going over to the next bit of news, like Survivor Series. So, according to Porce, he says, I think Sami Zayn approached Seth Rollins as far as joining the Bloodline in the Survivor Series, and he says, I think you're out of your dang mind. I know better than anyone who Roman Reigns really is. I am shocked that anybody would stand next to him, especially you. You got to be blind not to see that he's using you again. Thank you. I appreciate it. But the answer is no. Now, he was approached by Solo Sikoa, Bloodline 2.0, and he says, hell no, he ain't doing that. So basically what's happening is that Bronson Reed is going to join Solo Sikoa, and Seth Rollins is going to eventually join the Bloodline in this 5-on-5 Survivor Series match. This is weird because one don't have anything to do with the other, at least in this time, right? If you're going to do something, how about give us Cody Rhodes on the Bloodline side and Kevin Owens on the Solo Sikoa side? Because Sami Zayn went back to the Bloodline even after all the things that happened, everything that transpired with Kevin Owens and the Bloodline and all that in between. That is going to be very, very interesting to see, because now Kevin Owens on the opposite end, but you got Bronson Reed that don't have anything to do with the Bloodline as a totality. Seth Rollins, he did, but he's far removed from that because the only feud he got is with Bronson Reed. So it doesn't really make sense to me. I don't know if, The Rock was part of that plan initially and then he pulled out. Not sure about that. Don't quote me on that. But it could have easily been Cody and Kevin. Easy fix. Easy fix. And Randy Orton gets involved. Like Randy Orton gets involved and cost the Bloodline the match. It can explode into some other things. And who knows? Maybe The Rock will show up at the end of the Survivor Series match. We just don't know. But the band is back together, though. The band is back together. The OG Bloodline is back together. The Usos, Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn. They got it. The only person missing is Solo, but Solo's doing solo stuff. But with Survivor Series, I think it's going to be a decent show overall, though. It's just questionable on the fifth man choice. And, it just leaves a lot of us like scratching our heads as far as what we need to do or what they are going to do with this PLE. Now in other wrestling news, I know you saw the ticker below. In the ticker below, they're talking about John Cena. John Cena confirms that he will be attending the Royal Rumble of 2025. That's right. He is coming to 2025 as a performer. Maybe he's going to be in the Royal Rumble. Maybe he'll be in a one-on-one match. But John Cena's on his retirement tour. So, hey, what better way to wrestle than that Royal Rumble? Everybody going to love that. As you all know, the Women's United States Championship is in full swing, and Booker T stated that it is much needed because it gives women something to compete for, and I absolutely agree. We've been asking for a secondary singles women's title for a long time, so let's see what happens with this Women's United States title. So, and let's keep it at that. You don't need like the Intercontinental title over here. Just leave it at that. See what it does with this. So, but check it. I know the show is short, but that is our show for today, ladies and gentlemen. Do not forget to hit that like and subscribe button and that notification bell. Just like I told you, man, go ahead and check out our previous videos. And yes, I did see you guys poll as far as Spider-Man Revenge of the Sinister Six. Yes, I will be covering that as well. That's from Captain America. Not just any Captain America, Sam Wilson, Captain America. You know, since the trailer came out and all that. But again, do not forget to hit that like and subscribe button and that notification bell. I'm glad you guys was able to attend. And I know this, I was here for a short time, not a long time. So until next time, y'all. Peace.